You're comparing fake math if you think that that builder price is the real price of new construction in Roseville. Now, I'm not saying builders are evil. I'm not saying that new construction is bad. What I am saying is that that shiny price that you see online is the beginning of the conversation, not the end of the bill. Because once you start adding in all the upgrades that you actually want, like the lot premium, the backyard, landscaping, the pool, finished garage, window coverings, all the things, and sometimes the things you don't want, like the extra Melrose taxes, well, that new builder deal can start to look like it got jumped in the parking lot by reality. Because the base price is not the real price, it's the bait price. And today, I'm gonna show you exactly where buyers get surprised. Base price, the backyard, what they thought was a total monthly payment, that model home fantasy, and the lifestyle that they thought was included. And we're gonna compare all of that to this home. This is a newer 4-bedroom, 2-bath home in West Roseville with a built-in pool, a gas heater, encased windows, a finished out garage, and it's ready right now. So before you sign a builder contract, ask yourself this: are you buying a new home, or are you buying a very expensive, unfinished assignment? I'm Reese, and I help people relocating here to the greater Sacramento area figure out exactly where they want to live based on their lifestyle, their budget, and their goals. So if you're thinking about buying or selling anywhere in Northern California, greater Sacramento area like Roseville, Rockland, Folsom, Elk Grove, Lincoln, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll help you make sense of it before you make a very expensive guess. And if you want real estate advice that doesn't sound like it was written by somebody that's afraid of their own shadow, make sure you like this video and subscribe. You're already losing the game if your only question is which home has the lower price, because that's not how smart buyers compare homes. It's how buyers accidentally buy a cheaper problem. New construction can absolutely be a great option. Sometimes the builder incentives are really strong. Sometimes the floor plan, the location, the payment options, they all make perfect sense. But here's the part buyers don't want to hear. Brand new does not automatically mean better deal. Sometimes it just means that nobody has paid for the expensive stuff yet. That's the danger. A builder home might look cheaper because the lifestyle is not finished yet. No pool, no backyard, no window coverings, no finished garage, no mature landscaping, and no real sense of how the final neighborhood will feel. And maybe a payment that changes once you consider HOAs and special assessments and Melrose that show up to the party wearing steel-toed boots. So the real comparison is not new construction versus resale. The real comparison is unfinished promises versus a finished lifestyle. And that's where this Roseville home becomes a very interesting case study, because the expensive lifestyle pieces, they're already here. The builder base price is built to seduce you. It's supposed to make you say, that seems reasonable. And to be fair, sometimes it is. But that number may not include the home in the way that you actually want to live in. The model home has the nicer flooring, the upgraded cabinets, the upgraded appliances, the beautiful backsplash, the really fancy counters, the lighting, the backyard, just the perfect furniture, like those fake lemons. Never trust fake lemons. They've seen things. The model home is the trap. And that upgrade list, that's where the bodies are buried. Now again, that doesn't mean builders are doing anything wrong. It just means that buyers need to stop acting shocked when the really beautiful, pretty version costs more than the basic version. That's why you compare the total overall ownership experience, not the starting price, and not the fantasy, and not the model home with throw pillows that cost more than your first car. You compare the actual total. This home matters because you walk in and you see exactly what you're buying. You can see the pool and the upgraded kitchen and the encased windows and the window coverings. You see the finished garage. You see the actual floor plan and the layout, and you feel the finished lifestyle. You're not buying some artist rendering. You're not buying someday. You're buying the actual home as you see it. Quick tip for you. When you're comparing a new builder home with a newer resale like this, ask this question: what will this cost me to live how I actually want to live? Not just close escrow, actually live. That one question can save you from a very expensive misunderstanding. You bought the next invoice if your brand new home still has a dirt backyard. It sounds harsh, but it's true. People walk into new construction thinking that the house is the whole purchase. But then they move in, and the backyard just becomes a dusty little reminder that they're not done spending money. Concrete, landscaping, drainage, shade, outdoor seating, maybe a patio cover, possibly lighting, some design, maybe a pool, and maybe 5 or 6 contractor estimates and an emotional breakdown. A dirt backyard is not a blank canvas. It's a money pit with sunshine. And in Roseville, the backyard really matters. This is not some tiny detail. The summers are hot here. The backyard is where people gather. The pool is the lifestyle. And this home, it already has a built-in pool plus a gas heater, which means you're not just limited to the hot months. You extend your swimming season far beyond. In other words, much more usable pool time. Now that's a real lifestyle upgrade and a real financial comparison. Because adding a pool later is not like buying a patio cover. It's expensive. It takes a lot of time, tears up your yard. By the end of the project, you may ask yourself whether it should be legal that water costs that much to hold. This home skips that entire conversation. The pool is already here. The backyard is already built out. The lifestyle is not theoretical. You don't have to buy the water in the ground. You're buying the version of summer that everybody thinks they're going to have. And that's the emotional hook, the lifestyle payoff. And that's what buyers feel. And that's why you can't compare this home with one that's got a bare backyard, because they're not the same thing. One is finished, the other one's digging in your wallet. You're shopping lazy if all you're doing is comparing list price. I said what I said, because the list price is not the payment. Taxes matter, insurance matters, special assessments, HOAs, Melrose, they all matter. And the lender doesn't care how cute the model home was when the real monthly payment shows up. And the payment doesn't care about your feelings. It just shows up every month like a very committed villain. 2 homes can feel very similar in price, but feel very different every month when that payment shows up. That's where a lot of people get surprised. They'll compare 2 homes online and say, this one's priced really well. But then the full payment gets calculated, suddenly everybody goes really quiet because the house brought along some friends. HOAs, special assessments, and Melrose, all standing around with little cups in their hands asking for money. This is why buyers need to compare the overall homeownership cost and not just that sexy little headline number. And just a quick tip for you, before you fall in love with a home, you have your lender, run the total payments, including all the taxes and insurance and the HOAs and the Melrose. Be sure to do that before you emotionally move your couch into the living room, because nothing ruins that dream kitchen faster than finding out that that payment just doesn't work. Now the garage tells me whether a home is actually finished or just pretend. Now that may sound a little bit dramatic, but walk enough homes and you'll know exactly what I mean. The inside looks good, the kitchen photographs well, the bathrooms are clean, and then you open up the garage and it feels like a concrete cave where like half-used paint cans go to form a support group. This home has a finished garage with epoxy floors, and that matters. It feels cleaner. It feels more usable. It can be storage or gym space, hobby space, or even workshop space, or, just a garage. It doesn't make you feel like the house gave up right before the finish line. A basic garage says, we stopped here. But a finished garage, that says no. This house is actually dialed in. And then you take a look at all the windows and door frames. Every single one is encased and framed out. And this just gives the home a much more polished, modern look. It's a very expensive upgrade. Most buyers won't walk in and say, wow, excellent casing detail. Because, normal people do have hobbies, but they will feel it. They'll feel like the rooms look cleaner, more finished, more intentional, and less basic. And really, that's the point. Buyers don't always know why a house feels better. They just know that it does. And when you stack these details together, the pool, the gas heater, the epoxy garage, encased windows, newer build, the home starts separating itself from the basic builder inventory. Cheap details don't always just scream. They just quietly make the whole house feel cheaper. And this one feels finished, and that matters. Stairs are cute until you live with them. And then they start to become like, a free exercise program that nobody asked for. Single-story homes in Roseville are not just convenient, they're strategic. They work for all types of buyers. Move-up buyers, downsizers, families, remote workers, people with knees, people who like their knees, people who don't want the laundry situation to become like a 2-story hostage negotiation. Stairs are really just cardio disguised as architecture. This home has 4 bedrooms all on one level. That means flexibility. Bedroom, office, guest room, nursery, gym, hobby room, room for family, room for the life that you have right now, and the life that inevitably changes when you least expect it. A lot of buyers think that they're just buying bedroom count. They're not. They're buying problem solving. Does the home solve, work from home? Guests? Kids? How about aging? Does it solve the storage problem? And does it solve the, I need a room where I can go for 20 minutes where nobody bothers me problem? That last one is real. Let's put that in the MLS. I'm kidding. Mostly. But quick tip, don't just count bedrooms. Count the problems solved. A 4-bedroom single story is valuable because it gives buyers options without forcing their whole life up and down the stairs. It's not boring, that's smart. Now, if you need your neighborhood to be cooler than your actual life, West Roseville may not be for you. This is not Midtown Sacramento. It's not walk to nightlife and, go to all the cool spots and hear your neighbor's band practice through the wall kind of neighborhood. This is suburban comfort. Newer homes, garages, parks, backyards, pools, shopping by car, and quiet streets. Room to breathe. And people who aren't pretending that they want to parallel park every day for character development. Buy a home for the life you actually live, not the one you pretend to live online. That's the whole point. Some people will call Roseville boring. Fine. Boring is beautiful when it means that your garage fits your stuff and you got a pool in the backyard, and your neighborhood is quiet, and your daily life works. The wrong way to choose a neighborhood is to ask, what sounds impressive? The better question is, what makes Monday morning easier? Because Monday is where you actually live, not the vacation version of your life, not the Instagram version, the real one. Grocery runs, school pickups, work calls, dog walks, dinner, Amazon returns, quiet evenings, and pool weekends. That's the lifestyle that this home fits. Newer, cleaner, practical, and finished. Roseville suburban living without pretending that it's something else. This house is going to make one type of buyer feel like they just beat the builder system. It's the buyer who has already toured the model houses. They've seen the perfect staging. They've heard the sales pitch. They've smiled politely where somebody explained upgrade packages like they're reading ancient scripture. And then they started doing the math. Backyard, pool, garage, window coverings, window details, lot premium, timeline, payment, possible Mellorews. And suddenly that new build fantasy started looking, maybe a little more complicated. That buyer walks into this house and they think, wait, this is what we're trying to build. Some buyers don't actually want new construction. They want new looking without the financial ambush. That is this lane. That is the lane. This home is not for the buyer who wants acreage. It's not for the buyer who wants historic charm. It's not the buyer who needs restaurants and coffee shops right outside their front door. And it's not for the buyer who wants to spend the next year managing contractors and calling it a fun project. This is for the buyer who wants clean, newer, finished Roseville living. It's a single story, 4 bedrooms, a pool, a gas heater, finished garage. The windows are all encased as well as the doors. It's in a gated setting. Maybe this is probably the best part. There is no builder wait. Not for the home or to put the pool in. No dirt backyard pretending to be a dream. So here's the real question. Are you comparing homes or are you comparing marketing? Because the builder price may look better online. Chances are that new builder home still needs window coverings and upgrades, and it's not going to have a pool, and no backyard or landscaping. Cheaper looking house is not a better deal when it shows up with a payment plan disguised as future projects. This home gives you that new construction feel, but with a lifestyle already built in. It's 4 beds and a single story. It's got a built-in pool with a gas heater, a completely finished out garage with epoxy floors. All the windows and doors are encased and finished out and trimmed out. It's in a gated community. And again, this may be the best part. It's ready now. And you don't have to wait 6 months to a year to have your pool put in because it's there now. So before you sign a contract and put down your deposit with a builder, compare the full cost, not the base price, not that model home fantasy, and not those fake lemons. The full cost. And if you want to see this home in person, just call or text me. And if you're comparing this with, new construction, most definitely call or text me. Before a model home and a bowl of decorative citrus make a very expensive financial decision for you. If you're relocating to Northern California or the greater Sacramento area, Roseville, Lincoln, Folsom, Rockland, Oak Grove, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be happy to help you figure out what area actually fits your life. And if you own a home nearby and you're wondering what your home could actually sell for in this market, reach out. I'll gladly walk you through it. Because the right story, the right pricing, the right positioning, the correct marketing, and the right launch strategy can create a very different result. Ready to stop scrolling and start making moves? Let's make it happen. Also, comment below where you're moving from. I'm curious. And don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons. We'll see you on the next one. That's a wrap.